Hello! Welcome to another video here on Spuds and Coasters, where today I will be ranking my top 10 theme parks. A few notes I should note before we get underway. This is all my opinion. I don't expect anyone to have the same list as me. Also, none of the footage of these theme parks belong to me, and I will give channel shoutouts at the end of the ranking. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump straight into the ranking of my top 10 theme parks. Starting off at number 10, we have Drayton Manor, located in Tamworth, England. This family theme park has a large variety of attractions, with quite a few dark rides and flat rides. The coaster offerings here are somewhat varied, from a Vekoma Boomerang and Accelerator to a former Intamin stand-up called The Wave, but you very well know my opinions on that. If you don't, link in top right for my most overrated roller coasters video. On the whole, I don't think this place is necessarily bad, but there are definitely areas for hefty improvement. The cleanliness surprised me, as there never felt like there was an adequate amount of janitors. I mean, seriously, I saw a pile of sick by Accelerator at about lunchtime, and it only got cleaned after about 3.5 hours. That needed to be sorted out. The park felt quite dirty as a whole as well. In summary, Drayton Manor isn't bad, it just needs improvement. It needs attention if it really wants to become the UK's best theme park. Crossing over the world, we are going to head over to SeaWorld San Diego, located at San Diego, funnily enough. I felt as if this park had a nice lineup of thrill coasters. Emperor was a great dive coaster, and as much as I found Electric Eel uncomfortable, it was still a fantastic ride. Overall theming at this park was subpar, but it wasn't overly noticeable. The fauna and terrain work around Manta was especially incredible. Overall, the food I tried whilst I was there wasn't actually that bad, in comparison to some theme park food that I've tried. I also appreciate the fact that SeaWorld San Diego had the aquarium side of things. I really like it when parks have more to do than just rides, so I'm overall very pleased with the park. However, it does need more theming and also friendlier staff, as I didn't feel as welcoming as hoped. The park was nice, and I did have a good day, however quite a bit does need to be done in order for it to move up the list. Staying in California, we have Universal Studios Hollywood. I want to start by saying that I went on a sold out day in Easter, and it was very, very hot. I found that this park was extremely lacking in variety and space. I understand that this is due to the actual operational film studio, and the studio tour I experienced was great, but it felt extremely cramped in the park. I need to admit though, I visited in 2023, so Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift was not a thing, so I'm sure that helped spread crowds out a bit, but this is my experience of course. On the positives though, they have the best water ride I've ridden, with that being Jurassic World the ride. Those animatronics are unbelievable, trust me. I also had the time to watch the Waterworld show, and that surprised me. I was blown away by the special effects. However, for the sake of not spoiling it, I will leave that there. The more modern additions as well are very well themed, such as the Wizarding World and Super Nintendo World, which admittedly was heaving with people when I was there, so we didn't spend much time in that area. In summary, Universal Studios Hollywood is a great theme park and should be visited if you are ever in the area. Here's one I really need to get back to. Paultons Park, home of Peppa Pig World.
It depends on anybody's been to Peppa Pig World.
This could be argued as the UK's best family theme park, given the recent additions of Ghostly Manor and Valgar Realm of the Vikings. However, my last visit was in 2022, so my experience at this park is quite outdated. I was a huge fan of areas like Lost Kingdom and Tornado Springs, as the theming in those areas are great. I mean, Cyclonator is a great flat ride as well. And of course you can't forget Peppa Pig World.
But I loved it, and Peppa Pig World is very much my kind of place.
No, Boris, not again. And I can confidently say that that is how to pull off an IP in a theme park. The theming in there is second to none. The coasters that it had on offer when I was last there were great as well. I mean, Cobra is now Raven, and now there's a great big Gerstlauer Eurofighter next to it, and now the Mack Water Coaster coming soon.
Mack Water.
The staff were also extremely friendly here, and you walk around this park with a huge smile on your face. Not to mention the planned accommodation as well, so we might see Paultons Resort very soon. Things are only getting better for this little family theme park, and if I go back there, I will definitely have to rejig this list. However, for now, Paultons Park sits at the number 7 spot on my list. Back to America, we have Disney's California Adventure. Now, I know it appears quite low down, but my experience was quite surprising. Radiator Springs racers refused to operate, and we broke down on Grizzly River Run. I understand that this is not planned, but it was just a bit annoying. And then there was soaring over California. Now, apologies in advance to fans of this ride, but what the flip-flop? My nan could do a backflip on a scooter before I call this a good ride. It's abysmal. I hate it. For once, Merlin did a flying theatre better than Disney. Love you, Skyline. That was a huge disappointment, especially considering I waited 80 odd minutes for Soarin'. I'm fuming. However, on a much more positive note, Incredicoaster is fantastic and is definitely one of the most underrated roller coasters I've been on. Oh my god, it's almost like I did a video with that in, go check it out. Disney California Adventure also has the best drop tower I've done and was so fun. Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, you're not messing around mate, we get you. I was also a huge fan of The Little Mermaid Ariel's Undersea Adventure. I love the film, so the ride was just a laugh for me. As standard for Disney parks, it was all very clean and well presented too. This park has loads of positives, but it needs a bit of change to be as good as the other park on the resort, which you'll see later on. Halfway there, living on a prayer, whoa. At number 5 we have Chessington World of Adventures Resort. This park is a great family park, having a large amount of rides accommodating all ages, from the recently opened world of Paw Patrol featuring Chase's Mountain Mission, all the way to attractions like Mandrill Mayhem or Dragon's Fury. The park features a vast amount of areas, and all of them, most of them, have good theming. I seem to have a great time here, and the animal exhibits are pretty good as well. I seem to enjoy most of my times here, and I think the future is only looking up with the addition of Minecraft. As much as Land of the Tiger does look like a derelict Go Ape, I'm still appreciative of the fact that Chessington have been able to keep their log flume, unlike Loggers Leap at Thorpe Park. To put it short, Chessington is a very nice family theme park, with some good rides as well. Just get rid of the Gruffalo River Ride Adventure and please return Bubbleworks. By the way, if you are enjoying this video so far, consider subscribing. The support that I have seen is amazing, so thank you so much. And make sure you click the bell icon as well, so you do not miss when I upload new videos, as there are a few coming up very soon, right here on Spuds and Coasters. Alton Towers is at 4. So, hear me out. The operations have not been great, and I just find most of it to appear unloved, actually. However, the roller coasters are fantastic, Rita's great and no one can tell me otherwise, 13 is also quite underrated too, Oblivion has one of the best drops in the UK. Well, it can't compete with Scarab Bouncers at Legoland Windsor, but
are you sure about that?
Nemesis Reborn is fantastic, and I'm so glad that that area is getting filler rides like Toxicator or Nemesis Subterra. It's just a shame that Toxicator had its water jets covered already. Gotta love Merlin budget cuts, am I right? The Smiler is a bit rattly, but who can deny that this is great? And of course, Bluey the Ride, Here Come the Grannies is a very welcome addition to Renovate CBeebies Land. However, rest in peace Postman Pat, we love you. I also want to say that Wicker Man is the best wooden coaster I've ridden, even though back row in the rain is more painful than being hit by a Tesco shopping trolley.
In bagging area.
The gardens and the towers themselves are well presented, and as much as the towers are not as accessible as they once were, it is still a lovely preserved bit of history. It isn't perfect, granted. I mean, the world of David Walliams needs to have a day off. But overall, you can't really deny that the rest of the park is great. And the dark rides are fantastic. I mean, the Curse of Alton Manor is definitely a standout. Simply, the Alton Towers Resort is great. So, we have made it to the top 3. And to kick it off, we have Thorpe Park. I know, it may surprise you, but I wholeheartedly believe that this park is better than Alton Towers. Now, I love the idea of this being on an island. It's such a cool little gimmick I love to see. The roller coasters here are amazing in every way. Yes, even The Walking Dead the ride. Hyperia is definitely their new signature coaster, dethroning Stealth. But oh my goodness me, Hyperia is amazing. The airtime, the views, the hang time, peak Mac product. It also has Colossus, which, if you know me, Colossus is the most glazed ride on this channel. We have Soar, enough said. The Swarm and Stealth as well, which, as much as I have personal issues with those two rides, I won't say they're at all bad. Then Nemesis Inferno is an amazing inverted coaster. The theming in select areas as well is pretty good, and overall I find the park to be presented well. I do appreciate that Thorpe Park has some indoor attractions, with Ghost Train being quite unique at that. I appreciate how the atmosphere here is very good, and I love their Halloween event so much. Fright Nights is immense. The park is the UK's finest, and as much as this is quite controversial, it is my opinion and we're all entitled to our own opinions. Do you agree with my ranking so far? Comment below, and if you don't, let me know your top 10 theme parks below. I'd love to see what they are. My second favourite theme park as of May 2026 is PortAventura Park in Spain. This is such an amazing park, my favourite roller coaster, Shambhala Expedition Al Himalaya. This park has some of the best roller coasters in Europe, with the aforementioned Shambhala, Dragon Khan, Furious Backhoe, and many more. Their family lineup as well is fantastic, with Sesamo Aventura, of which holds a really good dark ride with Street Mission. In terms of family coasters, you do have a modest variety of them, with Uncharted being my personal favourite of them. As much as this park can, and often does, get very busy, the park is very large, so it never feels cramped. PortAventura also has some really good flat rides, such as Kontiki, of which is a great pirate ship and caught me off guard. They also have Hurricane Condor, which, oh my god, terrified me. However, as you may or may not be aware of, PortAventura Park has a set of dueling roller coasters, of which are named Stampeder. This terrifying pair are the roughest coasters I've ever ridden. Believe everything you hear about it being rough and uncomfortable, because it really is. Back to the park overview, the views of most areas are fantastic, overall very clean, and an absolute must visit if planning a European park trip. Also, the resort has a second gate, so if you're bored of the first one, which I doubt you will be, go and visit Ferrari World. And now we have made it to the first place. Thanks for watching this far, and I mean you've probably guessed first place by now, but it is Disneyland Park in California. This place is magical, and it also proves that you don't need the largest rides to be a great theme park for everyone. This park holds the best dark rides and water rides I've ever experienced, Rise of the Resistance and Pirates of the Caribbean. Disneyland just has such a charm to each and every area that makes you so happy wherever you are in the park, and the rides here are so entertaining. But my personal highlights were Splash Mountain, which I am so pleased I got to ride 2 months before it closed to be renovated into Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Matterhorn bobsleds, for those who don't know, were the world's first tubular steel roller coasters, and the Haunted Mansion. This park seemed to have everything there perfect. The whole park never felt busy or crowded, even in areas like Galaxy's Edge. What I especially found to be awesome were the roaming characters, even people acting as citizens of Main Street. Every minute I spent in this park was amazing, and I didn't want to leave. Everyone was just so jolly and happy to be there, and that is how to make a theme park experience better. The locations where I ate food at this park as well delivered great food too, and the standard was fantastic. I'm so glad I've had the chance to visit this park, and I can confidently say without a shadow of a doubt that this is the best theme park I've ever been to, and frankly I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Thus concludes my list of my top 10 theme parks. Comment below if you've enjoyed this video. I've definitely enjoyed making it. I would like to extend a massive thank you to Canopy Coaster, Paultons Park and Attraction Source for material in this video. Thanks once again for watching. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!